Hey friends, so I've always found it interesting that when people do something shitty to you, when they know they have hurt you or done wrong by you, they can sometimes get real quiet. They avoid you. They go radio silent on all channels. Sometimes they will go to great lengths to do so even. Why do they do this? Is it because nobody really likes confrontation? That might certainly be true in some cases, but I think the real reason is actually this, because it's an approach that feels better to them than admitting the disrespect. It's easier than apologizing. It's easier than looking in the mirror and saying, "You're a real a-hole there, pal." Finger guns and everything. Avoidance may spare them those icky feelings of having to admit their mistakes or failures, but what about the other person, the one they wronged? Does it absolve them of the pain or hurt that they feel? Does it make everything okay now by pretending that nothing ever happened? Spoiler alert, the answer is no. It doesn't resolve anything. It doesn't make their feelings of pain disappear. And maybe, well, their perpetrator just doesn't care about that, even though they should. We should always care when we hurt another human being. This is not something I should even need to say. And you know what might be nice too in those situations, though? An apology. And I mean an honest and sincere one. One that isn't just an empty word salad. You should understand something about apologies, friends. The lack of one is seldom ever about you. It's almost always about the wrongdoer's issues and their inability to see what they did to contribute to the problem. And look, I know what some of you may be thinking. I don't need an apology from so-and-so for what they did. That's fair. You technically don't. Apologies don't miraculously fix anything. But there is a lot of value in getting one, especially when it's one that you never thought you'd get. I can only speak for myself when I say that when people have done this with me personally, it has changed my opinion of them considerably. It isn't about the satisfaction of their admission. I actually don't care about that part at all. It's because when someone admits that, hey, I messed up, I know that I hurt you, I admit I was wrong, and I'm sorry. What can I do to make it right? That is a statement that shows a huge amount of emotional maturity and accountability for one's actions. And I have to respect that. Now, it doesn't mean that this person gets an automatic ticket back to your inner circle just because they said sorry. Forgiveness doesn't require reconnection. In fact, in some cases, that's for the best. With some people, forgiving them is really just handing them another knife to stab you in the back with, sad to say. You might be able to forgive someone, but when the disrespect is a big one, when the betrayal is deep, whether or not that person still gets to be in your life is completely up to you. And they do not get the right to be upset with you if you choose not to give them another chance. Listen, it is okay to apologize. It is okay to admit when you are wrong. When you hurt someone and you just say nothing to them, more often than not, you are doing more damage to that relationship than the actual bad thing you did. A sad thing about all of this is that sometimes those apologies that you really deserve are those ones that you'll never get. Some people would much rather twist the facts and deflect blame rather than admit they were wrong. Hell, some people will even pretend that it's you who's a bad person, so they don't have to feel bad or guilty at all about what they did to you. Understand that people who refuse to see the wrong in their actions are not going to care about the consequences of them either. When someone wrongs you and they suddenly disappear, that silence says so much without saying a word. One thing it definitely says is that that person has some growing up to do. Adults communicate. Adults accept accountability. Adults do not give people the silent treatment. Adults do not ghost people. Adults apologize. And they do what it takes to make things right when someone's important to them. Period. In life, conflict is bound to happen. Mistakes are going to be made. Apologize for them. Communicate with people. Because when you don't, you leave the other person to write their own version of that story. Have enough respect for people to apologize to them when you need to. And have enough self-respect for yourself. to let the people who refuse to see how their actions have hurt you walk away. It was never going to be your loss anyway. That's all I've got for you this week. I'll be back next week with another priority message. Until then, take good care of yourselves. Bye.